We do not appreciate the fact that we have the convenience of the Quran. The fact that I can put it on a PowerPoint slide, or you can open up your app and just recite ayat of the Quran. These ayat reached us after the Prophet ﷺ paid the price for them. Why does Allah want the Prophet ﷺ to be more receptive to the message and to internalize it and to strengthen himself with it? Because of ayah number 7. Inna laka fin nahari sabhan tawila. There's no doubt about it, especially for you, meaning the Prophet ﷺ. For you, when it comes to the daytime, there is long, exhaustive sprinting. And I'm going to go through the word sprinting or effort in some detail. The unique word here is sabh. Sabh is a unique usage in the Quran here, and we're going to have to spend some time on this word. You might be familiar with a word from sabh, which is tasbih or subhanallah. You're familiar with that word, right? As-sibah, originally in Arabic, is when they made clothes for babies, they didn't stitch the arms and the legs. They just made kind of a poncho type thing. You just slip the head in and it just kind of covers the entire body, and the baby can just kind of swim inside it, right? Move around inside it. That outfit is actually called a sibah. And when they stretched out leather to use it for any kind of other, purpose, they would call that tasabbuh, stretching out the leather, making it go as smooth and long as it can. The word sibah actually then came to be used in the meaning of swimming without there's two words for swimming in Arabic, sabah or sibah, and also al-aum. Al-aum is when you go under the water and come out of the water. That's al-aum. When you stay on the water, that's sabah or sibah. So the idea is, when a swimmer keeps floating and keeps moving quickly and doesn't drop, just like the clothes don't drop, like the stitching doesn't drop, it stays straight, or the leather stretched is straight, and the swimmer is swimming in a straight line without dipping down like a frequency wave, right? They're swimming straight. That's sibaha. Then similarly, a horse that is running at top speed, but the way that it's running is its front two legs are fully stretched out. Every time it gallops, it fully stretches out and kind of as far and straight as it can get, almost horizontal when it gallops forward, right? That's actually called a horse that is sabih. And that's why Imrul Qais and others also use this word to describe fast horses that gallop with their legs just stretching out fully. Now, from it comes the idea of long, exhaustive, full speed work. I have to give you the analogy of running for a second, because actually sibah is also used for running fast, because the horse running fast, right? Or as a swimmer going fast. If you're into jogging or walking or jogging, there are different speeds. There's a certain level at which you can jog and you cannot run out of breath for 40 minutes, an hour, and you can keep jogging. If you increase your speed just a little bit, what's going to happen? That 40 minutes might become 7 minutes, and you're starting to run out of breath. But then there's sprinting. And when you're sprinting, you're going at the top speed you possibly can, and maybe after 60 seconds, maybe after 30 seconds, maybe after 15 seconds, you're like, right? Because you're running out of it. You can't do anymore. Sabh or sabih is sprinting speed. It's top speed. It's the most exhausting speed. So it's a figurative way of describing the most amount of effort a person can possibly make. If you're going to use the analogy of a car, the foot is completely down on the accelerator. You're not slowing down. And now the Prophet is being told, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you need to prepare yourself at night. I need to find that calmness at night, because you have an extremely exhaustive amount of movement and effort to make all day. And it's not just sabh, it's sabhan tawila. Sabh is usually short. The galloping of the horse, the horse can't keep going like that. The energy levels drop and you have to give it time to rest, to rejuvenate, right? But the Prophet ﷺ is being told all day, so long as there's a day, you have to keep doing the running around and moving around. Now, what does that tell us about the Prophet ﷺ? It tells us that all day he's trying to find an opportunity to speak to someone. This one insults him, he goes to speak to someone else, then he speaks to someone else, and someone says, I don't have time right now, but come talk to me at night. I live all the way over there. And he's walking all the way over there at night to go speak to that person, then coming back to speak to this person, then coming to speak to this person, and this one's humiliating him, and that one's doing this, and that one's doing that. Let me try this one again, let me try that one again. And it's non-stop, the entire day, exhausted, and most of the time the door being shut in his face or humiliation coming his way. This is inna laka fin nahari sabhan tawila. This is what he has to go through all day long. We do not appreciate the fact that we have the convenience of the Quran. The fact that I can put it on a PowerPoint slide, or you can open up your app and just recite ayat of the Quran. These ayat reached us after the Prophet ﷺ paid the price for them. And the price he had to pay from the very beginning of this message is an extreme amount of humiliation, exhaustion, burden. He had to hear words we never have to hear. He had to face, calamities we never had to face, all because of this Quran. All because of this Quran. Like, if there's no other reason to have a relationship with the Quran, at least out of appreciation of our Messenger ﷺ. Like, what did he go through so we can have it? What did he just, inna laka fin nahari sabhan tawila. Now, if you really deeply understand this ayah, and I was telling you before how difficult it must have been to even begin to talk about this message. If you put ourselves, it's so easy for us, because for us, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is Sahih al-Bukhari, Muslim, Abu Dawood, Tirmidhi, Ibn Majah. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam for us is the Quran. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam for us is, Sirat ibn Ishaq, Ibn Hisham. This is the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He's books and books and books. He's volumes. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam is a legacy of this entire tradition. But at that time, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam was just somebody's neighbor. He was just somebody's friend. He was somebody's nephew. He was just another person in the city. And nobody's looking at him and saying, Ya Rasulullah. We have this for him because we know his value. But when this started, nobody knows his value. Very few people know his value. And most people are just completely put off by what he has to say. And then as it gets tougher, the people that are wealthy, this should be reminded all the time, because I want this in your head. We've been talking about the spiritual side of things, but we're going to quickly switch over to the political side of things. And this is the amazing thing about our religion. Everything's connected. Everything is connected. The Quraysh, they believed in, the leaders of Quraysh, they made sure that the idols are never harmed. The idols that were all around the Kaaba. But why is that? Because their entire economy depended on those idols. All the tribes of Arabia would come to show their respect to the idols in Mecca. That was the main center. There were other centers for the idols. Ta'if was also a center for the idols. There were some places for idol worship near Medina also, but the main center was Mecca. That was like the shirk capital, right? And all these tribes had their idols there. And because they had their idols there, none of the tribes would ever attack Mecca. And they would never attack Mecca even if they met them on the highway. Why? Because we have to show these guys respect, because our God is staying at the Kaaba. Right? He's a resident at the Kaaba. If we hurt them, they're going to go back and hurt our God. So we have to show them respect. So they had this immunity that no other tribe had. If any other tribe was traveling, they can get robbed. If the Meccans are traveling, I'm sorry, I didn't know you're from Mecca. Okay, please, go ahead. Right? So nobody's going to mess with them. If you challenge the idols, the next time they go out on a business trip, what's going to happen? Not only are they more prone to being attacked, in fact, what's going to happen is people will go out of their way to attack them. Even if they weren't intending to attack them, now they will make sure to attack them. These guys broke our idols. You understand? And it's not just one group that will attack them. All of them will attack them. And the other thing is, because they don't get attacked, and they have rihlat ash-shita'i was-sayf, they have more money than all the other tribes. And if it's fair to attack them, oh my God, they're the juiciest target. Because they have the most money. So the ones that are going to get attacked more than anybody else is them. So for them, shirk is not about religion. Shirk is about economics, and you can call it national security. It's about economic policy. That's what shirk is about. When Rasul ﷺ is going to challenge that shirk, This is going to be an economic crisis for us. This is going to be a political crisis for us. The other thing is a social crisis. In every society, there are some groups that are considered elite. They're considered higher class, right? Who's higher class? The people who take care of the Kaaba. How do they take care of the Kaaba? They protect the idols. If you destroy the idols, the elite are no longer the elite. What makes them elite is that they take care of their custodians of the Kaaba. If you look at the statements of Hashim before, and he's talking to the Quraysh about their responsibilities. I might even bring that, inshallah, maybe not in this surah, but Hashim's speech to the Quraysh, he gave them wasiyah, and it's recorded. And he said, you're custodians of the Kaaba. And he's talking to them while what the Kaaba then didn't just mean the house built by Ibrahim alayhi salam. The Kaaba meant all the idols. And this is your responsibility. You have to make sure that you maintain this, and he's giving them all this advice about how to make sure that you live in Mecca, living up to your goal, because people respect you for this. If they accept the call of Islam, the social status is gone, the economics dry up, and they're politically in danger. The social problem, political problem, economic problem, all at once, just because of accepting Islam. So the people, and who benefits from the social, political, and economic? It's not the city of Mecca that benefits. It's the top 1%. The top 1% benefits from the political benefits, the social benefits, and the economic benefits. The rest of them are being bled like everywhere else. And this formula has been, in any oppressive society, you'll find the top 1% benefit and the rest of the society bleeds, right? With few exceptions. But generally the norm in the world is that, repressive regimes, right? And the Quran's coming, and all of a sudden, these people that are supposed to be lower class, and they should know their place. They should know their place. Now they're standing next to people that are from a higher class, and other people and they're all praying together in one line. Wait, no, this is not how it works. This is not how. This is a 5-star neighborhood. You can't bring these people here. What are you doing in this neighborhood? Why are you praying next to him? When Hamza radiallahu anhu, who's from the upper class, is praying next to Bilal, who's supposed to be a slave, this is a problem. Because this is going to give other slaves ideas. Other slaves going, am I equal too? He's going to get ideas, and he's going to want to become equal. And then other people are going to be like, are we all equal? Because that's not what I was told growing up. There's a hierarchy. This was the real challenge. And when that challenge comes, then remember, the 1% will do anything they can to protect their position. They have no religion other than money, power, and status. That's the Trinity. Money, power, status. That's it. If you challenge their money, if you challenge their power, or if you challenge their status, they will do anything to hold on to those three things. Anything. There's nothing that's wrong. There's no right and wrong. So when the Quran is coming and saying inna laka fin nahari sabhan tawila, after saying inna sanulqi alayka qawlan thaqila, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is about to through the Quran, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is about to challenge the 1%'s money, status, and power. All three. And that's going to be a huge problem. And they will do everything they can to shut him down. And they never want to get their own hands dirty. The 1% doesn't get their own hands dirty. They believe that the majority of the people are stupid. They've always believed this. Majority of the people are insects. They're animals. They're stupid. We're going to use them to do our dirty work. So we're going to spread in the media that this is a magician who's going to try to change your religion, and he's going to ruin your way. He's here to destroy your families. He's insane. They don't believe that themselves. The meetings they held were not for themselves. The meetings they held were for the stupid people to then go and attack the Prophet ﷺ, because that's how they see the rest of the public. That's their perception. And the crazy thing is, if there wasn't some level of that was true, it would never work. But there is a giant section of many populations that are just sheep. They don't want to think for themselves. They're told how to think, and then they just follow. This concept is called istighfaf. And this is what Fir'aun did to his people. استخف قومه. He makes them light. They feel like their opinion has no weight. The only opinions that matter are the experts. The only opinions that matter are the official channels. If the elite say something, if the powerful say something, then it matters. One of the most revolutionary things about the Quran, what Allah called qawlan thaqila already, is that the Quran forces people to think. It's not some light speech. It makes you a thinker. It makes you critical. It makes you look at reality for what it is. And now you start seeing through the propaganda. You start seeing through the lies. You start seeing through the smoke screens that the elites have created. You will notice in this surah and all the other early Meccan surahs, I think there's a collection this time I have the team make. All the phrases in the Quran Allah uses in early Quran to describe the corrupt 1%. It's actually a major theme in the Quran to go after the corrupt 1%. It's a major subject because Allah knows where the corruption is coming from. And He doesn't want to destroy them. He just wants to fix them. He wants to redirect them. Allah has given you wealth. Allah has given you power. Allah has given you status. Allah doesn't want to remove your status. Allah doesn't want to take away your power. Allah doesn't want to take away your wealth. Just use it the right way. If Allah has given you something, our religion is not you shouldn't have power. That's not our religion. Our religion is not you shouldn't have status. You can have status. After Islam, there were tribe leaders who used to be respected before Islam. And after Islam, they were still respected as what? Tribe leaders. It's not like, oh, no, we're all equal. You're not a tribe leader anymore. No. Tribe leaders were still tribe leaders. You can have status. You can have respect. You can have wealth. Just use it properly now. That's all it is. It's not tear down the system. You know, a lot of people that want to talk about justice, we're going to tear down the system. The Quran is not tear down the system. It's redirect the system. That's what this religion is. But even that is too much of a threat for the ultimately greedy, right? So the Prophet ﷺ is being told, you have long efforts to make. Inna laka fin nahari sabhan tawil. And by the way, if Bilal listens to the Prophet ﷺ, or Khabbab bin Arad listens to the Prophet ﷺ, or his own wife listens to him, the 1% are not worried. Okay, so you got a slave. Okay. They got a couple of young people. Okay. It's fine. It's just kids. Kids are stupid. It's okay. They'll get out of it. They'll get over it. In fact, I'll talk to them. You know, اتبعوا سبيلنا ولنحمل خطاياكم. Surah Al-Ankabut. They'll talk to the young people, say, just follow us. If there is a sin, we'll tell God it was our fault. Okay? Just come. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. This is in the Quran. This is what they tried to do. Because young people are stupid, we'll get them back on our side. But then slowly, more and more young people. Oh, this is becoming a problem. Then slowly, one or two of the 1%. Umar bin al-Khattab, Hamza radiallahu ta'ala, Uthman, these are a little bit closer to the 1% now. This is starting to become a problem. Now some of these celebrities are becoming Muslim. We need to up our campaign. This is actually we could first ignore it, but now we can't ignore it. Now we have to go after these people. We have to spend money on this. Why would they spend money on trying to destroy Islam? You have to understand. The same reason people spend money on insurance. The same reason people spend money on security systems, right? And security cameras in banks. You're protecting your assets. Attacking Islam was protecting their position. It had nothing to do with their hatred of Islam. It had everything to do with their love of their position. That's what it was. And now the Prophet ﷺ is going to face the brunt of that. He's going to have to face that enemy, that ultimate enemy that is greed. Inna laka fin nahari sabhan tawila. You have an exhaustive effort. وَأَصْلُ السَّبْحِ المر السريع في الماء. Originally it's fast swimming in the water. فاستعير للذهاب مطلقا. So it was started getting used for movement altogether. استعارة السبح لجري الفرس. So this allegory is used for the movement of a horse. دون كلفة في وصف امرئ القيس الخيل السابحات. This is from the poetry of Imru al-Qais before Islam, where the horses were called sabihat, where they move seamlessly and keep moving and keep moving. This also is a pretty amazing compliment to the Prophet ﷺ, that sabhan tawila means you have these exhaustive efforts, but you never show that you're tired. You keep going. The sabh is bad, it's hard enough by itself, but sabh tawil, that's incredible. You know, because sprinting and marathon are two different sporting events, aren't they? So long distance running, you don't run at full speed. But marathon is like 100 meter or 200 meter or whatever that is. And that's at the end of it like, oh, I'm done. But he's sprinting the entire time. Sprinting the entire time. So this is a pretty remarkable phrase to describe the commitment and the non-stop work of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this regard. So inshallah, I'm going to stop here because the next ayah is a world by itself and it deserves extra time.